I get it.
And we're back.
Hey, we fucking did it.
We're here today with Miss Maribel Piza, former owner of the Dixie Tavern. And we'd heard a bunch of stories about you guys.
So many.
Yeah, on our 100th episode today.
Yes, true. We didn't plan it like that, but it's very nice that you're here for the 100th.
Yeah.
I feel honored. Thank you.
Yeah. So when did you buy the Dixie, or did you start the Dixie Tavern?
I bought the Dixie.
Oh, when was that?
In 93.
93?
In 93. My partner and I at the time, we were looking for a business.
Okay.
And so we went through a business broker.
Your punk club was a good idea?
Well, actually, fell into that part.
Right.
But we thought of buying like a laundromat, like counting quarters, something low key.
Yes.
And then we went to the Dixie Tavern because it was for sale.
Yeah.
And he went first. Maurice is his name. And he asked me, "Oh, come by. I want you to check out this place." And I was like, "Man, this place is cool. I like the vibe." Like, had a lot of wood inside and high ceilings, pressed tin on the ceilings. I had that New Orleans charm.
Right.
Yeah.
And it had a stage.
Oh, it was already there?
It was already there.
Nice.
And I was like, "Oh, I like it here."
Right.
And well,
That's
it.
all she wrote on that. Yeah.
Was it a bar operating already?
yes.
And they were getting the same kind of bands that you were pulling in, or did you bring in like a completely different vibe when you bought it?
When we bought it, there was no live music.
Okay, but stage.
Why they have
But
a
the stage.
Yeah.
Well, because it had, from its inception, when it first became a bar, which was eons before, I think it was after World War II, if I'm not mistaken,
Jesus.
it
Yeah.
became a bar, and
Okay.
it was a live music venue. And so it had a live music license all those years. The gentleman who owned it before me, he had a more, he played golf.
Uh-huh.
And so they had the golf like video games, and he had that type of crowd, Metairie, Mid-City, with the down shirts, with the buttons.
A little more business
It's just a
casual
little
around.
business casual.
Yeah.
And so it was cool, and it worked, and they were a great crowd. And he did a lot of he did a lot of business.
Right.
He had great numbers, but he was originally from Metairie, and so he wanted to open in Metairie.
Okay.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so when we bought the bar, behind the bar there was a big, it was mirrors behind the bar, and in the mirror was etched like a little, like, I guess, like a Cajun saying with an alligator, and it said Dixie Tavern.
Right.
Okay.
And so we spent all this money buying the bar, a lot of cash out of pocket, and so we're like, we're gonna have to keep the Dixie Tavern. That's
Say,
like
right?
gonna be
Like,
like
this is it.
yeah.
That's a whole lot
We're gonna
cheaper than
keep
buying
it.
a new mirror back here anyway.
We're like,
Changing every bit of it. Yeah.
but for sure, from the very beginning, we wanted to turn it back into a music venue
Right.
from the get-go.
From the stories we've heard, the bands were more heavy or punk influenced that played there, or was that just one night a week that it would end up being that, and other nights you'd have
Boat shoes.
and boat shoes, like that type of music.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so when we first started, we started booking bands in the New Orleans scenes. We had really cool bands with catchy names like Paula and the Pontiacs, and, like these local bands.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Sun Pine Barnes and the Zydeco and the Sun Spots,
Okay.
they played there. That's total, that, and Sun Pie still plays. He's very well known, and he plays that genre. And so we went through a series of bands, local bands, that didn't fit. Like, we were not in the French Quarter. We were in Mid-City, and so we were kind of trying to find our feel. And we had a bartender. His name is Mike. And Mike, is like, "Yeah, you think I can suggest a band?" I'm like, "Yeah, for
Right,
sure.
yeah.
I'm open. I've always been open-minded to new ideas, especially if you know more than me. I want your help."
Right.
Right? And he's like, "Well, I have this band, and I think they'll do pretty good." And I was like, "Okay, what's their name?" Mm-hmm. And he just looks at me because,
Do I have to tell
I'm not
you right
exactly
now?
the punk rock type
Right.
looking person. And he's like, "Oh, it's I Hate God."
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And I was like,
okay.
"Yeah, well, that was my reaction." I was
Right.
like, "Oh shit." And he's like, "You heard of them?" And I was like, not really.
no.
But that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And so, I tell my partner, "No, we booked this band for Friday night. It's I Hate God." He's like, "What?"
Right.
I'm like, "Yeah, but it's I like EYE.
Yeah.
You know, so I explained it to him. It's not, you know.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, cool. They're playing tonight. We set everything up. And, you know, we were always at the Dixie early. Like, we opened at 3, so we were there early. And the show's not going to start till like 10, so we'd
Right.
leave, you know, to change, to get my punk rock
There
vibe
you
going,
go.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I had a different look then. And when we come back to the bar, oh my God.
Swamped up.
It was swamped.
Right.
Outside the Dixie, there was at least a good 14, 15 feet of
Oh, wow.
sidewalk
Yeah,
space.
Yeah.
So
We're
it's
on the
still-
corner of Canal and Jeff Davis. I don't know. Am I still allowed to say Jeff Davis?
Sure. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what it's still called.
No, they changed it.
Did they?
Yeah,
wow.
we're not locals.
So yeah,
Well,
they changed
I mean,
it and they
even
got rid
any
of the
of it-
statute, and so I don't know what
Yeah.
the name is right now, but
don't know.
it's what it was then.
That's the- yeah,
it was
that's the only
Canal
way
and
I know
Jeff
of it.
Davis, and it was a great corner, and it was just
Right.
big corner, and oh my God, there were kids everywhere, locals, and when we went inside, it was packed inside too.
Right.
And we were like,
That's
holy
nice.
cow! I was like, I think we've met our genre.
Right.
This is it.
I mean, metal is still supported like that around here. Not even just metal, but just like doom metal or whatever.
Just
Whatever.
kinda anything hard.
Yeah,
The scene
anything heavy.
The scene stays pretty strong.
Yeah.
you know, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. I learned all kinds of genres,
Right.
like within the genre.
Yeah.
Like, because
Yeah,
of
I
course,
know,
I was
right.
calling it punk rock, and I was like, no, that's grunge. I was like, oh, good. I'm glad they stand
Yeah.
corrected. You know.
What was that? That wasn't your day job though, right? At the time.
Well, no. At the time, I was still an undergrad.
Okay.
Well, not at that time. When we bought the Dixie at the beginning, I was still an undergrad. I graduated in December with a business degree. I had a double major in international business and in accounting. So I was good with books.
Okay.
International business because I'm fluent in Spanish.
There you go.
And so I had a business sense, book sense,
Yeah.
right? And then the bar didn't get going into the punk rock scene until like the 4th year, like the 3rd to the 4th year.
Right. So you're already kind of in a rhythm on how the bar's
Eva-
running.
yeah, finally.
Right. Yeah.
It took me that long to get into the
Yeah,
rhythm.
that's-
It was very difficult, actually. And so once we got into the rhythm, and I felt like this is the crowd that fits here. It's like, wow.
Right.
Because you think as a business person, well, I want everybody to come to my club. Of course we do. And, but
Yeah, but-
everybody
yeah.
has a market. Even McDonald's has a target market.
Right.
The thing is, how do you develop or how do you find that? That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Fell right in
stumbled
your lap.
upon it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
we
the thing.
did.
You gotta follow where it's going. Like when something jumps at you like that, like you can't really deny it. Like this has to happen. This is clearly what has to happen.
And there's a lot of positive things that came from it. A lot of positive, and the fact that I was young, or that I am young.
Of course. Of course.
I was much more open-minded, and so I was open-minded to, okay, if you play an instrument, I don't care how old you are, you can come here and play.
Yeah.
I was open. My mother's also a musician, so I come from a line of musician. We're Cuban. I'm Cuban American, and so I've had a lot of musical influence in my life, and it's always such a positive thing. I was
Yeah.
always so proud of seeing kids at the streetcar stop with instruments in their hands. I mean, that's amazing. I love that about New Orleans.
Yeah.
And for me to be able to provide that
Yeah,
to like
contribute to
people,
that
oh
on
my
it.
God, I was so blessed.
Yeah.
Truly.
And weren't you saying? I think he was telling me that you used to be Gary Mater's landlord. The
Yes, at
bassist?
one point. Can you believe that?
Yeah,
I was the landlord to like a rock star. I was like so amazing.
He was in. I keep showing his. If anybody asks about our podcast, I send
Show
you
that
his.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm proud of that one. It's like, oh God, the guy from I God came in here. It was pretty sweet.
It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, and he talked about the Dixie Tavern.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And I actually reached out to him and about 6 other guys, Bill Heinz being one of them. He said that the Pallbearers' first gig was there.
Come on. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at,
Pallbearers,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I think he said he was 17.
There you go.
Right. Right.
I didn't have an issue with that.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, it was such a great move because their parents would come.
Right.
Right.
And it
Yes.
was, because there are a lot of parents in New Orleans that are open-minded,
Right.
which is so phenomenal. I really relate to the city a lot. I love New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I love that it's so welcoming, especially in the music scene, even though it's far out there, it's still art, art's to be interpreted in many different ways. And it wasn't just music because there were all kinds of artists. We had, I thought the ones that did the the posters, the flyers.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was always
Right.
so impressed. I was like, oh my God. And we had a rule, all our flyers were black and white.
Nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
Yeah, it keeps kind of like I don't know. You have a motif that's more like a straight ahead to metal too, with the black and white. To be honest,
I was just sitting in black and white because it was cheaper to print out a bunch of them. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
So, are you straight from Cuba to New Orleans, or did you guys live somewhere else before moving here?
Well, my parents are Cuba to Chicago.
Oh, okay.
I was born in Chicago.
Okay.
And then we fled the cold.
Oh,
yeah.
And we moved to South Florida.
Nice.
And then I moved to New Orleans in 89.
Yeah.
Is when I came here. And to go to Loyola.
Right. Yeah.
Very cool.
There it is. I told you they'd be here.
Yeah. We keep going through the bands practicing next door. Is that all right?
So, absolutely. Well, eventually when I did purchase, my partner and I purchased the building, we had 3 apartments upstairs.
Okay.
And so I was like, look, we need musicians upstairs.
Of course.
Who
Right.
else is going to be able to stand this, And plus, you can use the space upstairs as
Like
practice
clearly,
space.
yeah. Like
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
that
And so
would
it
be
worked
sweet.
out. It was great. It was great. Yeah.
When did you move to where are you in Miami now?
Yes. I had to relocate after Katrina.
Okay. And that's when the bar stopped functioning as well?
Yes, as a Dixie Tavern, we had 13 feet of water. We're like on, if you follow Bayou St. John, it ends. But if it were to continue, it would come right across our front door.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And so the impulse of the water just burst through the wall.
Yeah.
You could just see where it just opened up the Dixie like there, like poof.
Right.
And then, of course, at that time, the city reaches out to you because it's a historic building. It's more than 100 years. It has a lot of history that I can talk about if you're interested in,
Sure,
in
of
knowing
course.
what the
Yeah.
Dixie has. Like the building itself, it was only owned by one family prior to us purchasing it. So we had the deed written in French from
Oh,
the
wow.
King of France.
Come on.
Yeah, it was super cool. Super cool. Yeah, they had in the 20s. They found they found I forget his name. He was one of these bad guys that ran with like Bonnie and Clyde and Babyface Nelson. I forget.
Right.
I think it was Salinger. I forget. John Salinger.
I
Maybe.
know JD Salinger.
Is that it? No.
That's
Oh
a
no,
writer.
no,
I know what you're
that's
talking about. Isn't it Salinger with
Catcher
the,
in
like,
the
the gun?
Rye,
He's
right?
I
famous for
think. I'm
shooting
not sure.
somebody
I never
down.
read it. I haven't heard his name, to be honest.
Yeah, I
with you.
think that's.
Salinger sound
Yeah.
like didn't he?
It was
he's famous
something
for
like
shooting
that.
somebody down. Like,
Well, he hid in the building.
Okay.
At the Dixie Tavern. It wasn't obviously Dixie Tavern then, but it
Right.
was a 3340 Canal building. He hid in there, and then the the New Orleans cops find him, right? As the
Right.
story goes. But of course, Hoover was there at the time, so they called in the FBI, and so Hoover flies in to put the handcuffs on, like
course. Photo op and
yeah.
at your bar.
Well,
Well, it wasn't,
on
yeah.
the side. They
Yeah.
pulled him out. He was
Very
hiding
nice.
underneath.
Very cool.
Isn't that crazy?
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have a picture of that.
I haven't seen a
Right?
picture.
I have to look that up.
But that was very cool. And I found that in the New Orleans archives.
Nice. Yeah. So you owned it all the way up until the end.
Up into the end. And then eventually the city comes in and tells you, listen, you need to shore up this building because it can't fall. It's a historic
Right.
building. And then you're like, oh my God. I
That's
have
a
no
lot of
job.
money.
I've been laid off.
Right.
Let's start cashing in, trying to get liquid, whatever we can
Right.
get to hold up the building.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
we
yeah.
had to hold it up.
Yeah. So it doesn't
And
fall
so,
over.
I mean, yeah, we were running super thin on funds until we finally got an offer and we sold. And I am proud
Yeah.
of the fact that they had deeper pockets.
That's
Yeah.
good. Yes.
So they
Yes.
fixed it up, and I love to go by the building. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
it
It's
really
it's
does.
the holy ground now. Is that what
It's
it
a
is?
pub.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a pub. I thought it was Irish.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
But they brought back the front windows. I mean, they did such a beautiful job, and they brought the original entrance, which was on a diagonal. When I owned the Dixie, it wasn't. It was facing Canal specifically. That had changed from the original plan, but they brought back the original, and I liked that a
Nice,
lot. That
okay.
was nice, and the big windows in the bottom, that was very nice too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Severin, the guitarist from Paul Bears, sent me something. He said you could also ask her advice for getting fake blood out of jukeboxes.
Oh my God.
What?
And video poker machines.
That video.
He also told me, tell her you'd like to have a Red Dog beer.
Oh yeah.
That's
right.
My dad used to drink those. They were rough.
My dad did too.
Yeah, they were rough.
Yeah.
We had a.
Oh, that's a very nice.
I did the logo myself. I'm not I guess I'm a frustrated artist. If anything, I have never had an art class, but I did the logo on the front of the Dixie, and I painted the Dixie red because the Dixie was green when I bought it.
Okay.
You know, Dixie, the whole Cajun scene, and that
Yeah.
really wasn't my scene. And you know, I like the black more, and so I did the red and the logo. It was somewhat influenced by the Corvette logo.
Okay.
So
okay.
it looks like the Chevy sign, except
Yeah.
it all, you know, has
Swoops a
movement.
little,
So it
yeah.
all like was down a diagonal. I put the Dixie on there, and one of my bartenders, Aaron, he helped me draw it out. He saw me out there like trying to draw it. Aaron is an artist, and so he helped me. And I was like, you should really paint something, and that also took off. And he's like, can I paint the sound booth? And I was like, yes.
Of
And that was
course,
another
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Aaron painted the sound booth. Holly, an amazing artist who was my bartender for many, many years. She's originally from, I want to say Kentucky.
Okay.
And she lives there now, if I'm not mistaken. She had a child and has brought up her amazing child who I think I see him on, he does like bikes, like motorbikes, and he
Okay.
jumps and he
Okay.
does
Oh,
all this
wow.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
really
never
cool
mind.
stuff. But she's an amazing artist. And so she did the entire wall behind the stage. I mean, the entire wall. It was so super cool.
Right.
I can give you a picture
I saw
of
it change
Yeah,
because
yeah,
there was a
that'd be
white
great.
wall, and then
At the beginning.
Yeah, I've never been. That's why we need
I
to
know,
get you
that's
to
the
get
thing
in
is I
here to
was
like
never-
paint the picture for us.
Everybody
You know?
that I knew
Cool.
went, but I could never go with them. You know, I
Yeah.
just didn't. I couldn't sneak out enough.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, yeah. We went to go see Antarctica versus the World.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was the one that everybody went
They
to go
played
see.
there for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We have some great bands that have come through. Really great bands.
Did you keep any recordings from bands or anything like that back then?
No,
Would've
what
been
I
cool to
had
have a
was
live album
there.
done with
What
A
I
live
had
Dixie
was
album.
there.
Yeah.
And when Katrina hit, it was this whole thing about everything has like bacteria,
Right,
of
blah
course,
blah blah.
right,
So
yeah.
all like my CDs and all the back then
Had
there
to
were
get trashed
CDs.
up.
Yeah.
I had to get trashed.
Jeez.
I had posters. I have like the last Earbleed Festival flyer, that poster. I still have one.
Tell me about
I have a
that.
couple things.
Tell me about the Earbleed Festival.
We eventually came up with like something to do in July because so many bands were coming through to go to South. What is it in Texas?
South by Southwest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
To the festival, and they would stop here, and they were like, "Oh, we should play here before we go." And so we were like, I
Let's
think
do that. Yeah,
we're
right.
onto something. And one of my bartenders suggested it. It was his idea. I got to give him credit for it, and he brought it. He put it together. And the very first time we did it, we called it the Death Race.
The Death Race.
Yeah. And then the second year, we were like, nah, it's got to be your lead. It's gotta be
Right.
your lead. And so it started Friday and Saturday, and then it extended to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then it was the whole weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so we did it for 7 years, and there was bands coming through or coming back, and we did really well with that. Not only the local bands, but the traveling bands.
Yeah.
And we actually would have international bands.
Oh, wow.
Bands from Australia, from Finland, from obscure places, Colombia.
Coming through to want to do
Yeah.
it.
We even had a Christian punk rock
Sorry.
band. Christian punk
Right.
rock.
I
How
hear-
super cool, right?
Right? Yeah.
Mastodon's first gig was
Mastodon,
at
yeah.
the Dixie
No
Tavern.
way.
Yeah, that's what
What?
said here. Somebody told me that.
Oh my
I believe
Lord!
it,
Right?
yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I definitely missed out on an era with that. What was it?
One of my favorites was Face First.
That's
Every
what I was
time
going to ask.
they
Was
played,
what was your favorite band that
yeah,
came through there?
I love them.
Yeah.
I always liked when Gary Mater played, obviously.
Yeah.
He
He was playing in Hogjaw.
in
at the time.
Hogjaw, that's
Yeah.
right. And just a lot of the local bands, I guess I'd see them more often.
Right.
Plus, they'd hang out there because the Dixie was like that type of place,
It seemed that there was like a community of the same people going and everything like that.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I can see that.
I guess
Yeah,
that
of
happens
course.
everywhere, but but for the Dixie, like it seems like people are really passionate about it whenever they bring it up in here, and it must have been a really great place to be.
That's what I'm saying. It was like a staple for people's upbringing into the music scene around here.
I think so. I think I tried to provide that platform.
Yeah.
And I was very open-minded. I had just graduated, from business school. And so I was very interested in running a business.
Right.
But I also knew to recognize when someone knows more than me.
Yeah.
And I knew that this was the place for punk rock. But, I mean, I only knew, obviously, Dead Kennedys. Well, the Red Hot Chili Peppers were considered punk rock back then. I don't know if you remember that. You probably don't know, but...
No, they were.
Yeah.
I had some of their first albums. They were definitely more punk rock, punk funk something.
Right.
Than, it could only be labeled under punk rock, I think.
Exactly. In the
Sugar Ray's
80s,
first
for
album,
sure.
Punk.
I think there was a whole... I mean, even now, punk's still evolving into something I almost don't recognize whenever I hear new bands.
Yeah. It's, what is it? Everybody does the tap thing. Everything's
that's
got a
very
tap to
weird.
it now. And it's like, that's how kids are coming up learning how to play guitar. I'm like, that's not... Man, what? No. Whatever happened to, like, all downstrokes and shit?
Yeah. Did you play music yourself, considering you were into music?
I was given lessons for a good 8 years on piano.
Okay.
I'm pretty good with percussion,
Okay.
but I'm not a musician. I don't have an instrument that I play. Not really. I do the percussion instruments really good, and I dance.
Yeah.
I help out when I can, because it's always nice to have a pretty girl dancing when
course.
if the band's playing dance music. Right?
Yeah, right. Did you book most of the bands then?
I had the promoters. I relied on them.
Okay, yeah.
I totally relied on them, and I gave them,
A little more free reign on what's going on.
Totally free range for sure. And I also gave them space on my jukebox.
Oh, nice.
Because
nice.
we had
okay.
jukebox back
Yeah.
then is what it was. And so we had at least 2 rows, and always the bands that were coming through, they send you like a press kit,
Right.
a
Yeah.
media kit.
It's got like a little demo, a couple songs.
and so for sure, if you're playing my bar, I was going to put you there.
Nice.
For sure.
That's awesome. Yes.
Yeah. And I had like our jukebox was a great jukebox too. Not for nothing. We had such a wide variety of stuff on there. I mean, we had Social Distortion. We had some, punk DRI. We had like really cool stuff. But then like for happy hour, we would have like James Brown.
Yeah.
It was a different vibe. It
Right.
was really cool,
Yeah.
though.
Little Christopher Cross. Nobody. Didn't hurt nobody.
Got raided by the cops, apparently.
Probably more than one occasion.
Hex Wyndham sends this in. He said, definitely some basics, like when the bar opened and when it closed. He was telling me that. He said, ask about the mural, but you answered that on your own.
Yeah, amazing mural.
And
How long did that take? It had to.
It took her a long time,
Right. Maybe a year, like
it was months for sure.
Yeah, that's a big. That's a
we
big
commissioned
space.
her, and it was
of course.
Yeah, and she was, she took her time, and she's a professional.
Nice.
Truly, she is.
Do you know her last name?
Peters.
Okay, I'll be able to look it up. I can.
Holly Peters.
She's probably got an Instagram plugging.
Yeah.
Do that. Yeah.
There's a whole site on Facebook dedicated to memories of Dixie Tavern. I joined late, and that's how I got you in touch with you.
I think Bobby Bergeron sent.
Yeah.
Bobby
sent
Bergeron
it,
did, yeah. He's
The
been a-
Paranoids gang.
Yeah, that's right. He used to book bands for us too.
Yeah.
Bobby Bergeron, a bunch of people. Well, not a bunch.
Right.
I had to narrow down to like 4 really good,
People that
people
can-
knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And Bobby Bergeron booked probably the whole time.
Yeah.
So they have experience, and they knew who to put with what and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
How to build a show.
And plus, I was so fair because I owned the bar. I was going to make money off of liquor.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was only fair that if they're paying, people would come to the Dixie Tavern
Mm-hmm.
and they would drink.
Right.
So I just thought, well, obviously that should be my money, right? My profit. They're coming here, they're drinking. Now, everything that comes through the door, they're not paying to come say hello to Maribel,
Right. Right.
And so I was like, no, 100% to the bands. And so my
Golly,
promoters,
of course they'd go there.
Right.
the promoters
Come on.
totally, respected me for that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and until this day, I can't like download music for free. Oh no.
Yeah.
It's unethical. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pirate music. Are you kidding me? You know, I have too much respect for the artist to do something like that. And I know that a lot of the traveling bands were surprised. Now, I wouldn't pay the door, you know, because a lot of the times I wasn't what they were expecting.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'd pull up in my little car and I'd walk to the door and they'd be like, no, it's $5 or whatever. And I was like, oh, hi, I'm Maribel.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you're Maribel. Oh, yeah, that's me.
Well, then you can go. I will be going right in. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
But that was very fair.
Nobody lets you keep the door. Like,
But I will say, the Red Dog, right? I was trying to come up with a beer, and like my locals, Matt Bro and Gary Mater, you know, I had a lot of Bobby also who played in Face First,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh, you should get Natty Light. Natty Light is great." And I was like, "Natty Light's
terrible.
too."
It's so
Wow, but it would really cut into my Budweiser sales because it's like. It's a pretty good, you know, it gives it competition when you have a low budget.
Right, yeah.
We all go through that. And so I was trying to come up with a beer that was decent, but I could sell for $1. And they were like, "You're going to sell beer for $1?"
Yeah,
and I was
that's
like,
awesome.
I'm going
Hell
to
yeah,
work. I'm going to
yeah.
work it. I'm going to work
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And so I did, and I worked with Miller. Miller is the one who represents that brand.
Okay.
And so they gave me a deal on the cases, and so I would buy 50, 60, sometimes 80
I'm sure they
cases
love
a
that shit.
week.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
coming in constantly. And so the first like 2 cases of Red Dog goes to the band,
Nice. Yeah.
you know, because they need to drink
Beer.
too, right?
That's true. they need. Yeah.
And so I tried to be really fair, and I think that I think that was part of what made the Dixie so successful. That I was young,
Right.
right?
Got it. You know.
I got it, yeah. And I was fair. I wasn't there like to, you know, there are a lot of people who get crazy with business and they want to squeeze every dime out of the
Right,
artist, which is not fair.
Right.
Can you do me a favor? Can you check the thing?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't done that yet. Sorry. I get very paranoid. It stopped once, and now I have to look every time. Okay. Thank God.
Okay, good.
Never stop.
I mean, the audio's still working. I think the time it didn't, I had to like cut in Night of the Living Dead because it's copyright free.
Yeah. What's your radio show like in Miami?
Well, it's business oriented. I'm actually a lawyer. I went to law school while I was the owner of the Dixie Tavern.
Yeah.
So I
Was that through Loyola?
yeah,
Yeah,
I got a
okay.
JD MBA.
Nice.
And so, which was super cool because I was like in 1996, I had already finished undergrad. I was taking my LSATs, and a friend of mine who was still an undergrad says to me, "Oh, I have to make a website on a business. Can I do a website on the Dixie Tavern?" I was like, "Yeah, man,
yes,
that's
you
so
can.
cool."
Yes.
And so I remember having this meeting. You know, I was like, "Listen, we have a website. It's DixieTavern.com," and it was just like. The Dixie Tavern has a website. Oh my God, that's so ridiculous. It's so funny, right?
Right.
It was 1996.
Right, like
It was like, why do you have a website like today?
Yeah.
It's so obvious, right? But back then it was like, why do
Nobody's
you?
on that shit,
Only
yeah.
House of Blues has one. Well, you think you're the House of Blues? Like, well, you know,
I'd
in
like
the
to
punk
be.
rock scene.
Yeah.
right, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, you don't get out much. But I mean, apparently, Hex, another one of those things he sent me was that he met his wife there
Really?
at
Oh, how
the Dixie
cool.
Tavern too. So I'm sure a lot
Brings
of like,
love as well.
yeah, it brought love as well.
Yes.
Well, we had very lovely ladies, I must say.
Yeah,
You know, we
Hardcore
really
metal
did.
chicks.
Yeah, super cool, but
Hell
super
yeah.
cool and
Yeah.
and beautiful.
Right.
You know, who really, you know, they, because the scene was the scene. Like I didn't diss the scene. I mean, it
Yeah.
was punk rock. It was punk rock. Once
Right.
I realized this is my scene, then I totally like focused on the scene.
Right, yeah, yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
this is it. And we're gonna,
Yeah.
you know, make it so that they like it here, not just like one night. Which, and you asked me earlier, like how it started. Like
Yeah.
at first, we just booked like a few nights a month,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
until we started going, and then by the end, I mean, it was 7 days a week.
I was gonna say, yeah, people
Yeah,
are trying to get
every
in.
day.
It's like we're
Yeah,
booked, man.
every day.
Sorry.
We had the most incredible, like, we would have stars that come to the Dixie, which I have a great story.
Yes.
Hank Williams III.
Come on.
He came to the Dixie. He wanted to play. Oh my God!
Nice.
I wish, right?
Right.
But and he loved it, and he came, and he was like, "I love your bar," and he talked to the staff and whatnot, and he had a few drinks there. But we were obviously too small for him,
Right.
So he played elsewhere. But
Oh, man.
he was so super cool, really
What else
super
was he in?
cool.
Because I listened to his country albums. What was he in? Superjoint Ritual?
Yeah, he was in
that?
Superjoint. I can't remember.
He was in another one. I don't remember.
I didn't listen to Superjoint, if I'm honest. But Phil apparently went to your place too.
I'm
Lead
sure.
singer Pantera.
That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, he lives down here. I could see that.
Yeah.
Pearl Jam.
Pearl
Oh,
Jam
yeah?
came through.
Pearl Jam. They rented the Dixie.
Oh, wow.
For a 4th of July weekend. And I was like I know this baby.
Right.
I was like, they're really cool.
Yeah.
And Mike had set that up, and he's like, and so I'm hanging around. They had gotten there, and it was a private, like
Course,
nobody could be
yeah,
there, right?
yeah.
Is that
And
me?
so Mike is like, yeah.
Mirabelle, though, I could say.
Well, so Mike's like, I gotta tell you something. I don't want you to be offended. And I'm like, no, what do they need? It's like, well, they want you to leave.
Get the fuck
Oh,
out.
no.
My own bar?
I was like, okay.
I will
I'm
because,
leaving.
yeah, but
I'm
like,
still a fan. I get it. I'm leaving.
that's so sad. Oh, no.
But they had the best time. They had a barbecue, a cookout, and everything.
So they
it was
loved
the
it,
4th of
though,
July.
yeah.
They
How
loved
did
it.
Pearl
They
Jam
loved
know about the
it.
Dixie
Through
Town?
Mike.
Oh, okay.
Through
Very
Mike,
cool.
the bartender. Yeah, he had a lot of connections.
I was going to say, who is this guy? Like,
Right.
Hollywood Joe, is that what I heard?
Oh, Hollywood
Broadway?
Joe
Is
was
it
like our,
Broadway? Hollywood
I
Broadway?
think that New Orleans has characters
Oh, yeah.
that belong to, a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we had Hollywood Joe, just like we had Eddie also.
Okay.
Eddie Williams. I love Eddie. Eddie used to help us clean up and
Yeah.
whatnot. We had a few characters that were a part of it.
I'll sweep the place. I get a couple
Yeah.
beers.
Yeah, for real.
Miss Dolores was another one. Miss Dolores, she was she was something else too, and would come through. And
Yeah.
but Hollywood Joe would hang out more at nighttime with the bands.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
He's an African American gentleman.
All right.
He probably imbibed more than probably was healthy for himself.
Hmm.
But he was there are some drunks that are mean and nasty,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Like they don't belong in a bar. Like
Right.
Hollywood Joe was not that person. He was fun.
He's the fun guy.
He's
yeah.
a fun guy,
Yeah.
and so it was cool having him around, and he was part of the building. He came with it.
I was here from the last business. I'm
Yeah,
not-
right. That's actually my chair.
So now I wanted to get back to your business show on the radio. I just know because we do a show. I just want to know. You were saying you do a Spanish speaking show.
Yes, I do.
Does
You have
every
two shows?
Yes.
Okay.
One
All
in
right.
Spanish, one in English.
Both business.
Both business.
Nice. Yeah. It's like teaching how to do
Well-
things, or just like this is what I've been doing, kind of.
So my Spanish show is on a Christian radio station. I've been on the radio with my immigration law practice since 2008.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And so
Yeah.
I've been on a couple of radio stations, and I ended up on this Christian station, and I've been there the longest, and I like it.
You go
I
to,
like
like, a
it lot.
studio for it?
I go to a studio.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's the big
And,
real deal.
Yeah, it's very cool. And my radio program is called Encontrando una luz en su caso.
Okay.
So finding the light in your case, which is kind of like finding that light at the end of the tunnel.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I've always tried to be very fair. I mean, once something like so devastating like Katrina happens to you, you lose like your sense. You're like,
Yeah.
there's no
the
wind in your
ether,
sails.
yeah.
You're
You're
just
just-
like, oh my
yeah.
God. And so I was like, I couldn't stay at home and sulk all the time, although that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
And so I was like, well, what would Jesus do? Basically,
Uh-huh.
well, I'm going to go to the jails. I was a prosecutor in New Orleans. I was an assistant district attorney here for Orleans Parish.
Yeah. I think
Right
you
out
were
of law
telling me that.
school.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was wondering how that happened. So you're the assistant district attorney owning the Dixie Tavern.
Yes.
So
This
that
is while Dixie was on, or after?
Yeah, while I was
Okay.
on. I became friends with the police officers
Right,
from
yeah,
the
yeah,
second
yeah.
district.
Yes.
I bet they knew you already.
Yeah, but now they liked me. Before they probably didn't like me.
Right. That one.
What year did that start?
I graduated law school. Well, I passed the bar in 02. And so I started, I think, at the DA's office like in July, August is when I started. So in 2002.
Yes.
And so I was prosecuting mostly thieves and drugs. It's pretty much what I did.
Shit, yeah.
They passed me to first to be a second chair, first in like felonies, and then they put me in capital crimes.
Okay.
I didn't have the stomach for it.
That's like big murders and like terrible people shit.
Yeah, I didn't know I didn't have the stomach for it.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
so interesting because I like the law,
Right.
and I try to be fair, but oh my God, like there's so much that happens that doesn't get in the media.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And I don't think like the public is really ready to handle a lot of the gory details, and there were just some crimes that are just heartbreaking, and I just couldn't hack it, and I went back down to thieves and druggies.
I can handle that better. They're
Yeah, it was
calmer.
better.
Well, now you're doing more immigration law, right? So it's still on the sense of helping people out.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
back to the Dixie Tavern.
But I
mentality.
do have another story for you.
Oh,
I
yeah,
have
we wanna
a-
hear
I
it.
have an-
I definitely.
I had this firecracker of a bartender.
Is this the one? we were
JoJo.
talking- Yes. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
JoJo used to bartend, and she's super cute, beautiful girl, but she was spicy. She wasn't
Yeah.
very tall, but she was spicy, a little firecracker.
The little ones that you got to watch out for
super
sure.
cute, and you sometimes you needed that at the Dixie because otherwise they were gonna step all over you.
Right. Yeah. yeah.
Because there was a lot of attitude there too.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm sure.
You know, the whole like the blood stuff that with
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God, like they're spitting blood at you, and you had to have control to a
Right.
certain extent.
Yeah.
There's a mosh pit going on, and you're trying to watch the bar, and you have to be have your wits about you.
Yeah. Multitasking.
And
like,
so-
big time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so a guy came in to rob the Dixie Tavern.
Right.
Full
I-
of people.
It wasn't full like
Yeah.
But there were
people
yeah.
in there. A good I would say 10 to 15 at the least.
Ballsy. Jeez.
Yeah, but of course, we were in mid-city and that area, bordering towards Broad Street,
Yeah,
towards Tulane,
Yeah.
gets a
Oh, it's
little
sketchy.
shady.
It's
yeah.
sketchy. It's still
So,
sketchy.
it still is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Tulane and Broad.
they would,
Yeah.
they'd see the lights and the happening, what's going on, so they'd trickle over, and so this guy decides that he's gonna rob the Dixie Tavern. Robs it at gunpoint, and he, if I'm not mistaken, he demands a bottle of Jack Daniels. I wasn't there, so I don't know
right.
the details, but
All
I
the
can
money
imagine.
And the Jack.
And that.
I'm not sure what JoJo said, but it was probably like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So he actually took a shot at her.
She
Oh,
did.
But not at her. I mean, it was at her.
Right,
Thank
yeah.
God it missed her.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it was on purpose that he missed.
Hopefully
and
that,
this
yeah.
went this
Just
way
to
and
scare her,
shot
but
to
like-
scare her. But regardless, that's so traumatizing.
Yeah.
I heard
Oh, my
she
Lord.
shot at the wall.
He did.
No, Steve was telling. Steve Whatstyle was the guy on the bike out there. He was probably one of the guys drawing flyers back then too.
Probably. Yep.
But he said that Joe, he called her Joe, I think, came up and had to shoot, respond to somebody one time. I wonder if that was the time.
That he's
Oh.
the one that shot.
No, I
No,
thought
no,
she shot.
that he was saying that
Well,
Joe
afterwards,
went down and came
she
back up
brought
with
her
a
gun. She had a gun
Oh.
behind the bar. I remember that too.
Okay.
But
after
Oh,
that,
that's just
after
hearsay.
that
I
I
incident-
don't
don't
remember
know.
it was after
Right,
that.
yeah.
It might have been before.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
But I do remember seeing the gun. I was like, huh, okay.
Yeah, I guess so. If you get shot at it.
Yeah, but you
Oh,
know what?
shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I lived in New Orleans for 20 years. I was in the Coast Guard when I was at 17. I went into the Coast Guard. Was there for 4 years, so I'm a veteran.
Right,
Woo.
there
Oh,
you
very
go.
nice.
But I did learn to shoot, and I do have guns. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a rifle.
I've always wanted to. I want to go hunting, but I think that'd be fun.
It's.
I mean, I don't go around
it's
shooting my
fun
gun,
when you
obviously.
go
But
to hunt. It's not fun when you're like the guy that goes and hunts every year. 'Cause you have to like go and clear out a bunch of shit and clean up your old fucking camp. It's a big amount of work. Like if you
Okay.
just go to a place where you can hunt, that's great. Like if you have your own camp, that's a pain in the
Yeah.
ass.
Oh, okay.
A big pain in the ass.
I don't know. That's kind of what I think I go to when I get older. It sounds, I don't know, manly.
Put you out in the field.
I have a very good friend of mine that's a guide. He's
Yeah.
a hunting guide.
Okay, yeah.
Professionally owns his
Yeah.
own camp and a fish fishing guide.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Wilson out in Belle
Okay.
Chase, Packerman's Parish. Woo! Shout out
There you
to
go.
Chris
Yeah,
Wilson.
we'll plug him
Shout
up for
out-
sure.
Shout out Chris
Cool.
Wilson.
And he, he's a professional, and he has a camp, so I'm sure he relates to what you're saying.
Right.
And so I've been around guns in that sense, so I didn't have an issue with it. And so when I saw it behind the bar, it was in a holster,
Right.
safety on.
Right. Okay,
You know,
yeah.
we're not like,
I'm brandishing
Crazy.
it like
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
But,
clearly here for
I
a
get it.
reason.
Yeah.
I get it. New
Right.
Orleans has a reputation for being sketchy or whatnot.
Yeah. Well, and, it's
So the guy that steals, let me
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
let me
sorry.
tell you
Yeah,
about
we're going
this.
off. It
So
goes
he
that way.
takes the money, right?
Right.
And the bottle.
his pants were like falling off, right? Yeah, and he has the
yes.
bottle.
Yes.
So his pants are falling off because that was the style or
Uh-huh.
whatever. But
Yeah.
some were exaggerating,
Oh,
and so
yeah.
they were all falling off. So he can hardly
That's
hold
hilarious.
everything and the money,
God,
up,
yeah.
and he's like stumbling. He's trying to get out. So he has the gun and he runs out the Dixie Tavern, goes up Jefferson Davis, falls.
Huh.
Okay.
Money goes
Shoots
everywhere?
Himself.
No.
Oh my God.
Guess where he shot himself?
In his-
I can't make
in
this
his
up.
balls?
In the
I
dick.
cannot make this up.
Was
He
it there?
shot off his testicle.
Oh,
Holy shit.
man.
Oh, that's amazing.
Is that
not,
not
not
like-
exactly.
I mean, not for
I
him,
can't make this
but what
up,
a story.
honestly.
Like,
Yeah.
Poetic justice, kind
Yeah.
of.
for real, though. Like,
I was in.
You shouldn't have
I was
taken
in
the
ADA.
bottle.
I was in ADA. The second district contacted me.
did you have
Oh,
to,
really?
Did you have to...
You defended him?
Did you have to defend?
No, I was
no,
a
you were
prosecutor.
prosecuting
Oh,
it.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
But the judge is like, they don't call you by name when
Yeah.
you're a ADA because they don't want the defendants to know your name
Yes,
personally.
right.
So they call you state.
Oh, okay.
State,
Yep. Yeah,
come
yeah.
on, state. What are you doing, state? Like, hello, and the judge is like, seriously, what are you gonna do? He already shot off his testicle. What the
What'd you
hell
want
else?
him to
What
do?
else do you want?
I want the other one.
But you know
Wouldn't
that
that be crazy if that
I
was
got
an
the
option?
money back
5 years and you shoot a
Nice.
testicle.
Nice.
to the dollar.
What about the bottle?
I didn't get the bottle. But
I had to
he
eat
ended
that
up
one.
calling 911 himself.
I mean,
Yeah.
he has to.
He had to.
bleeding out.
His ball was gone.
You believe this? No. Wow, it's like amazing, right? It's crazy.
This is the clip. This
Yeah,
is
it is. So what's the future for the show that you're doing now? And are you in the middle of a pretty big job out in Miami as well? I actually heard that you won an award like a couple
didn't you
months
recently?
ago.
Yes. Yeah, you did.
Recently,
right?
I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, what was that?
I received Person of the Year from the how would I say this? Ibero-Americanos
Oh yeah.
Journalists
Of course.
Okay.
Organization. I guess it's a
Does-
Ibero-American, Pan-American
Okay.
journalists organization.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And for
I'm sorry,
my
I didn't mean to
for
make
my,
that face. I just didn't understand.
right. It's hard for me to translate something
Right,
like
yeah,
that
no.
too. It's not a word I use on a daily basis. But it was for my I guess for they were recognizing me as helping the underdog in the community
Right.
basically.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a champion for rights. Because I must say, like, it all kind of connects because if there I did do a lot for the people who came to the Dixie Tavern and the artists and the musicians, but they taught me so much.
Right.
It might have
Right.
taught me more than I was able to teach them. I was just honored to be able to provide a platform. That
Yeah.
was really what I was able to do. But
really build a community
they
around
taught me so
yourself.
much. And one of the things I remember from Mark Bro, from Bobby, was we are punk rock, man. We are by the people, for the people.
Right.
We are anti-corporation.
Yes.
We are the people. And that message is so strong, even still today.
Right.
More so, I think, today than
Oh
ever.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that we shouldn't lose sight of that. Like, yeah, punk rock has morphed, like, and
Right.
over the ages. I mean, from the Sex Pistols, like, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
blah, blah, all the way to today. Green Day was even considered, punk rock.
That
when
was
they
the kind
came
of shit
out.
I was growing
Yeah.
up with. The early Green Day, early Offspring. Like that was.
That's right.
Because that's all I could hear on the radio, and my parents weren't buying me shit. So.
So I think it's important that, whatever your experiences are, you learn from them. And I learned, like I said, after Katrina, I was like, okay, where can I help? So let me go
Yeah.
to the jails. And I did see that, well, I spoke Spanish fluently. I mean, thanks to my parents.
Do you speak it with a Cuban accent? Like, does
No.
everyone know you're Cuban as soon as you start
No.
speaking Spanish?
No, not at all. Not at all. I know. And so they always mistake me for something else. And I'm like, no, actually, I am Cuban American. But no, my parents came in the 60s. Well, obviously, before I was born.
Right.
And so my parents came from, they were the ones that, they came from a different, lifestyle. Well, they were considered I guess, the revolution. My mother's grandfather's American, last name Wilcox, great-grandfather Scottish, so they didn't like us.
Oh, okay.
Wilcox, Bruce, no.
Right,
They want,
yeah.
that's not a revolutionary name, right? So we had to get out of there anyways. My grandmother's name is Kate Wilcox.
Okay.
So they didn't like us for sure. So they got out. We didn't have a choice. And so when we come to the States, once I was born, and I was 6 when my parents put me in to learn Spanish.
Right.
5 days a week. I had teachers. And so the teachers all had different accents. So I didn't learn like at home, like,
That's what I was about
like
to say. It
that
wasn't
tight.
like coming up and then also learning both.
And both of my parents spoke English.
Right.
And
Right.
so I spoke English first.
Right.
I'm definitely English dominant.
Yeah.
Spanish I sometimes struggle with, but I do speak it fluently and at a university level, and so I definitely communicate well.
Yeah.
Right.
And it has helped me, and I think it's good that I'm more of a neutral accent, because I think I can speak
You
to
have a
a lot
broader
more.
spectrum of
I think so.
just people you can help that won't feel guarded against.
Exactly.
You know.
But I've gotten everything from, oh, you must be from Argentina. Oh, you're from Colombia? Are you from? Yeah. I get all over the place.
I hear that Argentinians, they have blonde, blue-eyed Argentinians, but I really have.
I don't know anything about
Yeah,
that.
I saw a movie. I saw
a movie once.
I saw Motorcycle Diaries. That's what.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. Super historically factual.
I think,
shit.
all this area,
Yeah.
when this part of the world was discovered, right? Allegedly discovered.
Yeah.
Who came over from the Europeans?
Yeah.
And the Europeans, the ones that were granted land,
Granted.
right?
This is for you.
Right.
Just push those people out.
Well, what's so funny? I've read a few books on the Native Americans. I'm very interested in history.
Yeah.
And one of the first things, the Brits or the Americans, when they come over, they told the Native American Indians, were like, we want your land.
Yeah.
And they were like, this
But that's
is not
not a-
my land. This is not
Right.
my
Nobody's.
land. This is nobody's land.
Right. We're just
You
here
know.
for a second. Like,
So
yeah.
we're like, isn't that interesting?
It is.
That's great. Yeah. To
Makes a lot
come
of
with
sense.
a concept of ownership for something like that, where it's like, that's not
Yeah.
a thing I would have ever thought of. And now I actually have to like seriously fight you over it. Like, also a thing I never thought I'd be doing.
Yeah. God damn it! I don't own this place.
I had a few times like that in the Dixie. The owner? You're looking for the owner?
Yeah. Oh,
went that way.
Yeah. What snuck out the back.
So I guess we're gonna. To end up the episode, what's one of your favorite memories from the Dixie Tavern?
Oh, wow. That's a difficult one.
I know, right?
It is, but I was just saying. I think just to round it back up to the Dixie Tavern one
For
more
sure,
time. I
yes,
wanted to
yeah.
hear maybe what was something that you remember that you still think fondly about.
There
Often.
you go. Yeah.
Well, I definitely, feel we had a community,
Right.
and we definitely had a strong group of like regulars that would be like 40 to 50.
Right.
It wouldn't be 3 or 4.
Right.
And I think that having them come in, we were like a family.
Right.
Truly a family. And I think my fondest memories is just being there, like being yourself,
Right.
letting them be themselves,
And
Right.
still getting
How-
along with all of it.
and the diversity. There was such huge diversity. We were not a bar like we were LGBT friendly. No, we were just friendly.
Right,
Did we have
yeah.
LGBT representation? Oh yeah. We
Right.
had regulars within that family.
Right.
You can have
on both
all of
sides.
those things if you're not an asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't
you're
take
allowed,
much.
You're
you know?
allowed in.
Yeah.
And so I think that for me, it was. I went through a grieving process, not having the Dixie.
Right. Yeah.
'Cause I
Especially
missed
losing it
it.
in that way. You know.
I wasn't ready to give it up.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I lost the connection with all these amazing people and artists, and that I
'cause
lost
I mean,
touch with.
It all scattered a lot after Katrina.
Yeah.
Everybody had to figure out where to go, what to do now. Yeah.
And I was very proud. I still am very proud of the Dixie. You can call it a lot of different names to describe it, but at the end of the day, it was New Orleans. It was true New Orleans.
I like
Mid-city,
that.
all the way.
I don't think there's any other way to end this.
Nope.
That was a great quote. Yeah, let's do that. Is there anything you want to plug? Like the names of your show? I'll find them. But yeah, if you want to
thank
plug
you.
the names of
My,
your shows of things, and
Well, they're
I'll
my
find the
immigration
pages.
shows.
Yeah, anything you want to
yeah.
plug. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I will say that I have a press release company also.
Okay.
It's called Noticias Newswire.
Okay.
And we write, we do press releases for the Hispanic market. We have more than 100 periodicals that you post on our website, and it goes to them. In Spanish and English, it's bilingual.
Nice.
And we do
Nice.
very well with that too. I mean, I still have my whole business side to me. I love being an immigration attorney because I give back and I help, and I'm blessed that I'm able to do that. But I will say that at the end of the day, I think I can't help but say, I want to come back to New Orleans. This is where I want to be.
Right. Yeah. It draws you in real close, real quick.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next week. Thank you
Thanks
so much,
for coming.
Maribel.
Thank you. Thank
My
you.
pleasure. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, there you go.
Huh!